You got something else on your mind, so fire away.
Les, I've been itching to go since this weekend. First of all, I want to ask you, am I a hot take guy?
Hot take guy?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not somebody who relies on it. Am I bash the commissioner guy?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I needed that because I'm going to go ahead and just tear into MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. I wanted to have some credibility in this bash. Rob Manfred made a disastrous situation even worse, and I didn't think that was possible, given his conduct and his comments this past weekend in relation to the Astros cheating scandal. Now, I have my phone here, and I have the quotes that bother me the most. From an ESPN story, you did an interview with Carl Ravitch of ESPN. In the context of my original decision, something that we talked about and analyzed extensively, said Manfred, of potentially stripping the Astros of the 2017 title. Big topic of conversation between me and my senior staff. It's never happened in baseball. I'm a believer in the idea that precedent happens, and when you deviate from that, you have to have a very good reason. The report gave people a transparent account of what went on. We put people in position to make their own judgments about the behavior that went on. That certainly has happened over the last month. So that's your rationale for not stripping them of their title in 17. You gave us the information, you thought about it, but you decided not to do it because of precedent. Well, what kind of precedent are you setting now, Mr. Commissioner? When cheaters can go ahead and cheat and they won't have their title stripped, right?
Well,
that's your precedent.
What is he saying? He's saying that there's no reason to do what they did, for example, in 1994 when there was no World Series. It says no World Series, no champ.
Yeah, he's condescendingly, arrogantly saying, you know what? If you're gonna do something like that, it better be for a damn good reason. Well, you know what, Commissioner Manfred, this is a good reason to strip a team of a title.
There's no better
and you're
reason.
Apparently punting on it. Oh, not apparently, you did, but you doubled down on arrogant, pompous, condescending, out of touch, stupid. Did I leave out any pejoratives? With this gem, the idea of an asterisk or asking for a piece of metal back seems like a futile act. People will always know that something was different about this 2017 season, and whether we make the decision right or wrong, we undertook a thorough investigation and had the intestinal fortitude to share the results of that investigation, even when those results were not very pretty. Oh, congratulations, Commissioner Manfred. You had intestinal fortitude to flush out cheaters in your own game. Oh, yeah. Boy, don't hurt yourself patting yourself on the back there, Buster. And what the piece of metal, which, by the way, has caused a firestorm throughout Major League Baseball.
The piece of metal meaning the trophy.
He's talking about the trophy. He could go and take that physical trophy from the Astros and take it out of their possession. Oh, I don't want to do it. I think it's a futile act to go get a piece of metal. Let me ask you something, Mr. Manfred. What do you think that the hockey players call that cup, the Stanley Cup? Is that just a piece of metal? Is that just another cup?
I believe it represents the championship of the season.
I mean, and by the way, the MLB trophy is called the Commissioner's Trophy, last time I checked. What a disgrace, Rob Manfred, his performances this weekend.
All right,
awful. And by the way, it wasn't just the Ravitch interview. It was an arrogant presser Sunday night as well, where he did nothing but hurt himself and hurt his game.
Okay, so what is he afraid of? A collective bargaining situation where he gave immunity to these people to get information?
Yes. Clearly, he was afraid that if he punished players, if he or the MLB punished players, the players' union would file grievances, and you'd have the tie-ups and all the whatever it goes into the grievances, and the players would fight it. Okay, but to me, even if I grant you that, and I let you get away with not punishing any players, there's no reason why you can't strip the Astros of that title. Now that you've admitted it, I wasn't sure he was allowed to do it given the CBA, right. But he's saying here he was. They gave it strong consideration and ultimately decided, no, going after the piece of metal is a futile act.
Okay, so he continues on, and now you've got a couple of guys who made not totally sincere apologies, and the owner of the Houston Astros, what an embarrassing performance that was.
Disgrace. Jim Crane, you're going to sit there and tell me Jim Crane didn't know anything about this? Come on now. That's ridiculous.
Well, he knew about it, but he even
didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, but he even says, "Well, what's the big deal? I don't think that is bad. I don't think there's any way that this helps a batter."
Yeah,
well,
he said
really.
It didn't affect the game, and then I think Jeff Passan of ESPN had a question literally 30 seconds later, and he said, "I never said that." So he contradicted his own comment made within a minute. I mean, I've never seen, though, a commissioner make a situation exponentially worse. And by the way, it was already horrible. But Manfred has poured kerosene on a horrible situation. And here's the thing. How do I know that it's a terrible situation? Because players everywhere are coming out. Mike Trout. You get Mike Trout, the most non-controversial superstar in the history of the game, to come out and take shots. You know there's something going on. These players are irate. They should be. Oh, and then here's the worst. Well, not the worst of it. Here's more, Les. Dusty Baker, the new manager of the Astros, tells MLB, I want you to protect my players from retaliation. So Manfred comes out this weekend and says, we will not tolerate pitchers teeing off on Astros hitters.
So you can't come inside?
Now what? Now what have you done, Manfred? If I'm a pitcher and I'm trying to move Alex Bregman's feet, innocently, honestly trying to move his feet, with no thought about the controversy, and I throw one in and hit him in the ribs, you're telling me I might get warned, if not suspended, or if not ejected right away?
No, what other recourse does he have? He has no other recourse.
So you're telling me now that by virtue of cheating, the Astros have cried for protection, and now they're getting it from MLB, and they can eliminate half the plate because the commissioner said, we're going to be watching you for retaliatory measures.